There's one thing that you need to do to have ultimate control over your reality, godlike control over your reality. And it's going to help you get from where you are to where you want to be in the fastest and easiest way possible. So first, we've got to take a look at the word control. Why do we want it? And I totally understand that if we're able to control our reality, if we're able to shape our reality, then you can transform your life. And so control has this outwardly masculine state to it. Control. I'm trying to control something, right? I'm trying to manipulate something. I'm trying to influence something. In fact, the word control means influence and power over something else. And so when we look at the people who are in power, right? The megalomaniacs, the people in power are all about control, and they're able to do that by using governments who govern the minds. Minds means mind, so they're governing the minds and essentially controlling the world. Oftentimes, if you want to control your reality, you need to control your own mind. But in controlling your own mind is almost impossible, because the ego is going to do what the ego is going to do. We have so many thoughts, we have so many beliefs, we have so many identities that the mind or the ego is going to take us off track anyway. We're always going to have those doubts and fears and those negative suggestions that come into the mind and take over. We get lost in the illusion of the mind. We get lost in the illusion of the ego. So the ego itself is a trap. The ego itself is dualistic thinking. We're trying to improve and become better. And again, we're trying to control our reality. What's missing in the world, and you can agree with me or disagree with me, is feminine, which is not thinking, but feeling, emotions. Now, in some cases, there's a lot of people who are too far on the emotional spectrum and don't have the balance of the IQ. So they're lacking emotional intelligence, and that can be destructive too. But our world mostly is hyper masculine and focused on mind and logic and studying and remembering and recalling and regurgitating, right? Our need for control, or our need to control our reality or shape our reality, is the first thing that we need to completely eradicate. Because when we can surrender control, we can allow God to flow through us. But we want to manifest based on our ego, thinking that it's only the ego creating the reality, right? The ego manifesting the reality, like it's me doing it, right? There's a me, and there's an identity about me, and I need to improve and be better at manifesting. What if it wasn't about me when you're manifesting, but more about we or us? And I'm not talking about like the world or people. I'm talking about that you are one with God. And so it's not like I am manifesting. It's more like I am manifesting. Does that make sense? It's like I am God. I don't need to manifest. I am manifestation itself. I think it, it's done. I feel it, it's done. I'm an experience. Okay, my manifestation, my desire is over here, and I'm over here, and I have to get it. God's not thinking on that level. So if you were God, it's just done. It's collapsed. It's neutrality. So in that, there is no control. It's just choosing. There is no creation. It's just choosing. You're just choosing the reality that you want to be in. So the first thing that we need to do is actually surrender. Completely let go of all of these narratives and stories that we have about manifesting or controlling our reality. Let go of it completely. Now, do some people manifest controlling their reality? Absolutely. But I can tell you, many of them understand the principles that I'm about to share with you now, just not sharing it with you. They're asking you to pay a whole bunch of money, and I'm talking about $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 to just learn what I'm sharing with you in this video right now. And so once you can raise your level of consciousness and raise your vibration, then there is no need to manifest anymore, because you are an expression of abundance already. You are an expression of God already. And so everything is manifest without even trying to manifest it, right? What's the highest vibrational thing you can think about? Well, it's actually no such thing as a high vibrational thought, in my opinion, because thought is dealing with this 3D realm. Right? It's still dealing with this reality. Okay. And so we can go beyond thought, and we can step into the void. We can step into a state of isness. We can tap into God or be God or become God. And then that natural expression, the more that we embody God's energy, we are naturally becoming a prayer for whatever it is that we want to manifest. You don't need to pray anymore. You don't need to try to manifest. You don't need to intend. You don't need to do any of that stuff, because you are a constant expression of God. And so the next step here is to walk through life as God. Walk through life as the truth, as love, as the Most High, as Isness, as God, as Allah, as Jesus, as Krishna, whatever name or label you want to put on it. You are that now. Only your brain is telling you something different. Only words like blasphemy is keeping you away from the truth. You are also God. You are now free. You have now surrendered to the divine energy. And it's like, the way I imagine it, it's just merge into everything. You, the ego version based you, let that go. Disappear. Merge into the oneness. Merge into God, right? Which is you also, right? There's no separation. Merge into it. Be it. Disappear into it. Just like when you a drop of water into the ocean, it becomes the ocean. Where does it go, right? This is what we need to do, is learn to be like water. You know, like Bruce Lee says, be water. When you pour water into the cup, it becomes the cup. And when we could do this with our bodies and our minds, and I'm not saying like, you know, physically, but like being and resting into nature, God, love, resting into that energy now and disappearing completely, not listening to the narratives of the mind and not allowing the mind to take over, the ego to run the show. You see, the ego thinks it runs the show, and you have to take back your power and become God over your mind. Become God over your mind by just being present with the mind, not trying to change it, just seeing it, letting it do whatever it wants, like a little kid in a playground, letting it play around, say whatever it's going to say, negative or positive. You're no longer attached to the ego by being here now and merging into everything. So if you look at the map of consciousness on screen right now, you'll see that desire is a low vibrational frequency, and it's also connected to enslavement. We are enslaved by desire. Yet in the law of attraction spiritual manifestation community, desire is something that is highly spoken about. Manifest your desires. But as you can see, we move up the map of consciousness and we step to the top, or love and above. Enlightenment is the top vibrational frequency. In enlightenment, everything just is. So desire is a low vibrational frequency. And I'm not saying here that desire is bad and that you shouldn't desire anything. My ego-based thinking has desire, and that's okay. But first, you have to understand and see that it's desire and not putting any judgment on the desires, right? You have to be able to step into the frequency of being okay with desiring whatever it is that you want to manifest. Because there's many people that say, oh, you know, I only go for $1,000, you know, I only go for this amount, right? There's this like hindrance or subconscious programs and blocks that say I shouldn't be desiring that. Something bad's going to happen. In actuality, people who are tapped in like that can often feel the energy of, if I manifest this, someone else is going to experience something negative because of my actions, or I'm going to experience something negative for my actions. But that's the key, is that yes, that can potentially happen because we're dealing with pendulums, right? When you put your energy and desire into something, it can swing the other way and create more problems. And so when you are in presence, you are no longer activating the pendulum. So if there's a desire and you are present with the desire, meaning you're not giving energy to the desire, right? You're not addicted to this reality and you're not attaching yourself to this reality, and you're present and you've become empty and you don't need the goal. You don't want to manifest the goal, and maybe not want to manifest the goal, but you don't need the goal. It doesn't matter if you manifest it or you don't manifest it. You don't care. If it happens, it happens. I don't care. When you're in that energy, when it's like nonchalant, when you're at peace with yourself, when you are fulfilled in yourself with needing nothing, then it shall manifest. Because God is teaching you to come back to God, stepping back into presence and being aware of these ego-based desires that keep you trapped in the matrix illusion. What can happen if we continue to desire? We create addictions, or we're wanting more. When we desire, we stay more and more trapped in the matrix. And the more that we stay trapped in the matrix, we'll continue to reincarnate, because you're going to be like Cypher in the movie The Matrix who wants to enter back into the Matrix rather than be outside of the Matrix. You see, being outside of the Matrix was boring for him. He wanted to taste that meat. He wanted to be famous. He wanted to make money, right? He wanted to be rich. And outside of the Matrix in Zion, he couldn't be rich. He couldn't have these things. So he remembered what it was like to be in the Matrix, and he wanted to go back. And so he connected with the agents, and the agents said, hey, like if you can get the codes to Zion, then we'll let you back into the Matrix. You don't want to be reincarnated like this guy, right? Unless you want to reincarnate here over and over and over again. That's okay. And this is a complex subject, right? There's things like karma and things like this. And we are here raising the vibration of the planet, ascending, raising our frequency. And we have to remember our hearts. We have to remember why we came here. We have to manifest the goals that we set before we came here. We have to tune into the God frequency, which is what I teach in my Awaken program, and embracing that more, because everything shall be done unto you from seeking the kingdom within. And it's not necessarily within, it just is. The kingdom within is understanding that you are nothing and everything at the same time. You are isness. You are part of the substance of the divine. And anything that tells you otherwise is keeping you trapped in the illusion, is keeping you trapped in the simulation, is keeping you trapped in the matrix. Deep down, every time I work with people one-to-one, every time I do a group coaching call, every time I work with people who are in the law of attraction field, deep down, most people want to be free. There's a deep calling to be free, but it's not the free or freedom that they're logically thinking about. It's much deeper, because once you achieve freedom and you have the financial freedom, time freedom, the location freedom, once you achieve that, you realize you're still not free because you don't have personal freedom. You don't have spiritual freedom. You don't have freedom from yourself. And so there's layers and layers and layers into it. And I'm inviting you, and I'm inviting myself into more freedom as time goes, and letting go of the virus, of viruses, of ego, of mind, so you can experience God beyond dualistic thinking. Every single thing in our reality is pretty much a scam. Even me recording this video right now. Every single thing that doesn't tie back to nature, God, the natural substance of our reality, is a scam. It's a lie. Every single thing. Even the idea of marriage and the way that marriage is set up in our reality right now is a scam, right? Food is a scam, right? Most foods are a scam, right? It's not designed for our bodies, right? They've manipulated it. They've processed it. They've GMO'd it, right? And they're trying to take the avocado seed out of the avocado. Why? The avocado seed is anti-cancerous. You see, what are they doing? Then we've got Bill Gates messing with this, I don't know, whatever new thing to preserve the fruits and the vegetables. He's messing with Mother Nature, the real stuff. He's messing with God. This is what these megalomaniacs are like, right? It's our consumerism that is causing this problem, and not understanding our desire for things is creating prosperity for many people. And then they're just going to create more and more products, more and more stuff for us to get, more and more Netflixes, right? Whatever the next Netflix is, you know, more and more different things for us to consume, yet what is the cost to it? And so we are becoming more and more enslaved by the Matrix Maya illusion. But deep down, we want to set ourselves free. And we can begin to do that by being present and realizing all the bullshit. It's all a lie. Romanticism is a lie. Relationship, deep down, is about you and God. And I'm talking about a romantic relationship. Is about you and God. When you're conversing with your person, right, and you're interacting with them, whilst it brings love, right? Love is not the only aspect of a relationship necessarily in the way that we romanticize it. The feelings, the emotions, the highs, right? When you get into a relationship, you're going to realize more about yourself. You're going to realize your triggers. You're going to realize your ego. If you choose to have a connection with God, if you have a connection with God, you're going to see the lies in your mind. You're going to see the narratives. You're going to see the stories. You're going to see the traumas. You're going to see the stuff. It's just going to remind you, and reflect back to you over and over and over again. And the more that you don't make it about the other person, but you make it about you, and I'm not talking about anything super hyper toxic here, right? The more that you make it about you, even sometimes in those toxic situations, it is about you and why was you attracted to the toxicity, right? But I want to be very careful and with that particular topic, because some people are just a little bit, woo-woo. right? And so it's going to reflect back to you, your connection with source, God, isness. And then from there, it's like, okay, God can now come into your relationship, and all the beauty in the relationship can flourish, because it's not about your ego, wants, needs, and desires in the relationship. Scary to go to that, but that's what it is. You're surrendering complete control. You're not making it about the other person, right? The things that you like them because you've been trained to like them. The things that you want them because you've been trained to want them, right? If you was born in the Amazon rainforest, you know, waking up doing some ayahuasca, some tribal dances and stuff like this, right? The Icaros, you would have no concept of needing this car or home or whatever it is. But we live in a reality where we need money to survive and stuff like this. So I can understand why you would desire more money. But when you step back into abundance of what we call God, right? When we step back into that, you are abundance. And when you operate from that space, things will just naturally show up for you because you've let go of the matrix completely. You're in complete abundance. See how that works? Desire is one of the things that we need to let go of completely to then come back into it. So I'm not saying to like you're going to let it go forever. It's more like, how can I let it go for some time now so that I can find the truth and be more in the truth and start operating from the truth, so that when I do have a desire, it's like, okay, I'm present with that. I'm not attached to the outcome of whatever it is that I'm desiring. And I'm completely free. I have personal freedom, free from the matrix, all right? So if you would like to continue this journey with me, there's a link in the description. Join my Awaken program. Much love. Peace.